Okay, Chairman, we are all set. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Beverly. Good morning, everyone, and to the members of the Governance Committee and staff. I thank you all for joining today's meeting. I'll call this meeting today at 11 o'clock. All right, first and foremost, as far as chair announcements, next week, we are looking to have our second reading for the CEO proposed budget for the fiscal year 2022. We are also on schedule for staff to present to the board of adoption. We are currently proposing a balanced budget at $30,404,486 budget. I commend staff and our consultant working through the process of keeping us well informed throughout. I think that's a great job for us to be back on track. Ms. Ragland, do we have any presentation or updates at this time?
We do not, sir. And good morning to you, Chairman Cody, and to all members of the board and the attending public staff. We do not have any presentations at this time, but I would like to mention for the record that I would like to present on the agenda for the regularly scheduled board meeting, 2 presentations at the top of the meeting. One would be the property and casualty insurance renewal, and the other, as you've already mentioned, would be the final reading and adoption of the proposed 2022 proposed budget.
All right. Thank you for that, Ms. Ragland. All right. So we have 7 items before us on next week's board meeting. We received detailed information pertaining to the items below. I believe we still have pending information for the property and casualty insurance that will be presented next week. I recognize and appreciate how staff has been diligent and how information is presented to the board. So thank you all for your effort and care you provide each day at this time. I would turn the floor over to Ms. Ragland so she can highlight any additional information for us. Ms. Ragland.
I don't have any additional information at this time, Mr. Chairman. We can move forward with going through the consent agenda for the next meeting, which would be our regularly scheduled board meeting.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Ragland.
Yes, sir.
All right, next we'll move into the committee updates. If any committee chairs would like to provide an update from last week's meeting, I turn the floor over to you at this time. Do we have anything, my committee chairs?
I don't at this point, since we're going to be rearranging committees and possibly members. I don't see where we should start anything that we aren't going to finish. So hopefully by the July meeting, we will be fully aware of what the committees will be structured as. I almost forgot what the old 3 committees were. Even though they're in our reports every month, I don't usually read it, but
All right, we have,
with that in mind, I also just wanted, I do wanted to add, I spoke to the staff and we did have our public meetings the other day on the 9th, and we had no one attend those. Kind of like a school board election. No one goes, but it's a huge budget that no one seems to have any concerns over. So I think that's been the way it's been in the past. I don't think this is something new, but it's a little disheartening that not even a single person was there to make a comment or recommendation. But you know, I don't think there's much room for changes from what we've been going through for the last 3 months over the budget. And I think we're in good shape. We did get it balanced, providing, I think there were 2 numbers we're still waiting on, the insurance and the tax digest from the county, which we should have soon because their budget's due on the 25th. So they have to come up with a number, but realistically 2% was what they said we could expect. I know Kenneth is on, and I know they have one, they met last Friday, but I don't think they came up with a number yet.
No, sir, not yet.
It'll get there. It always does. But that's all I have.
I got a quick question,
Mr.
Dr. O.
Yeah.
The how are we, and this might be for, I don't know, whoever can answer this, Cam, but how are we advertising budget meetings, specifically that second, or the reading, the one where nobody came? Are there ways that we could maybe improve on making that something that people are aware of and can
I
engage
know
with?
there's requirements from the state as to how those are posted and how long in advance, how much notice is given. I know it goes in the local papers. It's
did.
in the Cat News. Maybe Valerie can add. I think that changes on different bases depending on the year.
Of course, we advertise it on our social media outlets. We did advertise it in the Savannah Morning News as required by the state. And we also use the Tribune as well.
If that's, if our goal is to get public engagement, then that is something that we could maybe, there's a lot of ways to get people to go to meetings and we could be reaching out, do like every board member invites 3 people, sort of a deal. And because I think it would be, it's going to be helpful because what happens is that you see this happening with the school board, because the same problem there is that we pass these budgets with ample time for folks to come in. And then people wonder how the budget got passed. And it's like, well, we did provide lots of time, lots of ability for everybody to get engaged, but attention is at a deficit everywhere all the time. And I think trying to bring some more focus onto that could be key. Our final reading, though, is on next week?
Tuesday.
Yes, sir. At the board meeting, our public board meeting.
And there should be a public session during that meeting for commentary.
We will, at the beginning of the meeting, we'll open it up for the final reading and comments from the public.
Okay, cool.
Chairman Cody, I think you're muted.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Do we have any more questions? Director Leggett, did you have anything?
No, sir. Just to echo what Dr. O'Halloran said, we were just brought up to speed on the same information, and we're just happy that staff was very thorough in completing this budget presentation. So we support that and staff.
All right. Thank you, Director Leggett. Director Edmiston.
Yeah, so we had a great meeting. Our 3 guests this time were Mike O'Neill from Parent University, Jackie Schott from the Savannah Downtown Business Association, and Bryn Grant from United Way. Again, I just think it's so cool that we've got a variety. We're creating this sort of constellation of folks throughout the community at all different levels in all different industries, who are getting to know some of our staff and kind of know how CAT works and operates. This group specifically mentioned a lot that this was a very enlightening conversation, that they learned a lot. And anytime anybody gets anywhere close to, that wasn't me, anytime I've found that anytime anybody gets kind of close to CAT staff or CAT conversations, they are learning so much. And I think there's so much more that we can do, and there's so much more that we will be doing to educate people and to educate some of our leadership and our community advocates as to how transit decisions are made. I also wanted to give kudos out to staff. I got a message from Jeb Bush from the Forsyth Farmers Market, who was in our previous stakeholder meeting. And we had a conversation there about advertising inside the bus. And he said that he got a prompt email from CAT staff saying that the program was turned back on, and they'll be engaging with that soon. So kudos to all of y'all on that. I think that's really fantastic and a way to kind of like show, outcomes are being made from these meetings already. None of them are difficult. None of them are hard. None of them were crazy. And I think that's really great. Didn't have much more from that. The folks that were able to join the meeting really enjoyed the donated leave policy. I think that was pretty cool hearing their comments on that. And I'm interested to learn more about how the committee structures are going to be changed and who's going to be members of which committee, because I think it's incredibly important that we continue doing these small guest invitations to people. Yes, that's definitely something that I'm committed to continuing on.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Emerson. Do we have anything else we want to add?
No, I don't remember if Clinton was here when we had the old committee structure. I think Howard had set some of that up.
I was
back in the day with finance, service delivery, and the other one, which I always forget. Valerie's looking to
system development.
That's it. And that was long-standing set of committees, I believe, even before. Well, Howard may have set it up. I don't know if the county did that when they were running the CAT board, but I think Howard brought that in and instituted it. And then we decided that it was, with Doug Eady's suggestions, we decided it was a little too siloed, and we kind of brought it all together. But I think if we do the presentation and the consent agenda before the subcommittees meet, we'll all have an idea of what's going on with the other committees. I mean, we don't always get a lot done, and each committee's kind of committed to certain timeframes. I know finance and strategic planning isn't starting in the December before the next, they start about January before the next budget. And before that, the 6 months before that, their amount of work is really just tracking to see if we're on track. So the meetings might get short at some points. With the budget at a perfect balance point for next year, we're probably looking at options for 2023. We already know that a 1% or 2% increase or decrease in any of the major costs or revenues requires 3 or 4 changes further down in the budget to bring us back to balance. So we're walking a tightrope, literally. And it literally changed. I've been at the meetings for the last 2 or 3 months, and it changes every week because something changes. We add something, we take something away. We add something, we take something away.
That's true. That's true, Dr. O.
And there's only 2 items left. We will have the commercial insurance number. I think we already do have it. Seacrest probably gave it to you already.
We do.
Was it a major, minor increase?
It wasn't major, and there were actually some things that they were able to negotiate to our favor.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah, they
then,
do a great job with that. I really have to commend them. They do work hard for us.
And there was the consideration too with the insurance for the new bus wash. We added that, and the difference was only $30 in the
Yeah, I heard that. I said, wow, that's nice to know.
Yes, so that was good. That was positive.
Yeah, because some of that's covered by the yard liability. The unit itself is automated, so there's really not a lot of hand contact with
That's
the machinery. Right. So
that's correct.
And then the county will know by next Friday. I hope we have it before the board meeting so we can finalize the budget with it, but I don't think they meet again. They met on the 11th, they meet on the 25th, which is after our board meeting.
Right.
So if we have to, we may have to have a meeting after that. So it's available on the 30th for finalization by the county and the state.
Well, that's the reason why that extra day was put in there, Dr. O, so that just in case we might have, yes, sir, just in case.
Hopefully we don't need to do it, but And hopefully they've erred on the low side and it's actually going to be higher than 2%.
We are hoping, we're hoping. We never give up hope.
No. It's like going to Vegas.
Yeah, play the lottery.
Hey, Kenny, that's not what we want to hear from a commissioner.
I'm just being honest with
We got to go start playing lottery tickets to cover our budget.
you. I'm just being honest.
I know you guys have it, you're doing 10 times the budget we are. So I appreciate your input. All right. I think I'm done for now.
You know, do we have any old or new business at this time? All right. Our next regular board meeting will be on June 22nd, 2021. Directly after that, on July the 13th, is our next committee meeting. I would like to thank staff. I would like to thank our board members for doing an exceptional job. And I'd like to thank Valerie. I really appreciated that email yesterday.
You're welcome.
And with that being, with no other business to discuss today, I would like to adjourn this meeting. Please enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye,
evening.
y'all.